Good morning and welcome to a new video. So this video is going to be a quick one. I'm just speed painting the cover page for my September nature journal. And I'm recording this voiceover outside on my porch, so if you hear background noise, there's a lot of birds around me at the moment. That's why. I hope it doesn't get to be distracting. My chickens have also joined me on the porch for the time being, and they can be quite loud. So I have heard quite a few birds this morning. I've been out here for about an hour now editing this video. So I've heard the blue jay, the Carolina chickadee, the American crow, house finch, northern cardinal, mourning dove, Carolina wren, tufted titmouse. I had a tufted titmouse just alight onto the feeder right above my head, and then there were two of them quarreling right in front of me. I actually just recorded this voiceover and got to the end of it and realized that I hadn't recorded anything, but that's okay. I also heard the red-shouldered hawk quite a few times. I can hear it now, and I had to check on my chickens a few times because the other day I came out in the evening and one of the red-shouldered hawks was sitting in a tree watching my chickens, so it knows that they're here now. There's also a flock of wild turkeys that have just come into the yard. One of them is at a bird feeder. Like I said, I'm preparing the title page for September's nature journal, and I'm very happy that autumn is on its way. September begins a week from now, so I'm looking forward to the cooler weather and going outside more. I've been stuck in my house, kind of, just constantly for the past couple of months because it's been so hot that it's unbearable to be outside. The other day, the heat index was 107 degrees, so it's just now cooling down a little bit, and I know it's going to get hot again, but I'm enjoying this cool weather while I can. This painting features black walnut leaves that I collected from the ground the other day, some windfalls. Black walnut trees are one of the first trees to change leaf color, so they're a great telltale sign that weather is going to cool down soon. They aren't so much changing color yet as they are just falling off the trees and dying, but I'm gonna count it. Black walnuts are an interesting nut. They come wrapped in this earthy green husk. The husk smells amazing. It's one of my favorite smells. It just smells like earth. I don't know how else to explain it. I've used them in the past to make walnut ink as well, which is what I'm using to write in my journal. And I think I'm due to make more soon, so maybe I'll make a video about it. My chickens have just run over to the herd of wild turkeys. So I've arranged the leaves into a wreath, as I like to do, and as you've seen me do in previous videos. I know that painting dead leaves is probably not the most exciting content, so I don't know, I think dead leaves are exceedingly interesting, and forest litter is also an integral part of the ecosystem, and offers home and safety to many small creatures. I just think the shapes are interesting and they're crispy. I don't know, I think they look almost more interesting when they're dead than when they're alive. I'm going to talk very briefly about my plans for September and for autumn in general. So the first thing of note is that I've enrolled in classes to become a certified Tennessee naturalist. And I'm already enrolled in the Blue Ridge Naturalist program, but this one is Tennessee specific. And the classes start at the beginning of September, so I'm very excited for that. I also want to start teaching nature journaling classes in person, and I'm hoping to do that as part of my volunteer work that is necessary for the certification. So that would have to be approved, but we'll see how that goes. I also hope to be able to teach nature journaling classes as part of my career once I'm certified. I've made a website with information about classes if you're potentially interested, and in the Tennessee or Blue Ridge area, I'm offering free classes until I'm certified, just because I need it for the practice, because I've never taught before, and I will also need it for my volunteer work if that goes well. So I'll leave the website link below, and I have a form that you can fill out if you're interested in classes, or if you'd just like to sign up for the newsletter, that would be appreciated as well. I think that's all for September. I have another craft fair at the end of October, so I'm getting new products ready for that as well. I don't think there are any other relevant events to update you on. I'm just very excited for the leaves to begin changing color and being able to go outside more and hike and spend time in nature. I think I've mentioned in a previous video that one of my goals is to paint from life more. I'm so looking forward to that, so hopefully I'll be able to start doing that soon when it cools down a little bit. I've been rereading some nature journal books that I enjoy to get back into the journaling mindset. I also just really enjoy reading them. They're some of my favorites in my book collection, so I thought I would share with you what they are. The first is Janet Marsh's Nature Diary. It's a really beautiful account of the area where she lived in the 70s, I believe. She was documenting the life around one of the last chalk streams in England. So that's a year-long account of the wildlife and happenings around. One thing that I really like about Janet Marsh is that she went out to collect things a lot. Like, she would take jars and nets and collect bugs. She would collect butterflies, dragonflies, and beetles. She would even go into the stream or the river to collect caddisfly larvae and other river life. So that's something that maybe I would be interested in doing. The second book is The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, which you may have heard of. It's more well known. It's by Edith Holden, and it was written in 1906, and it was the journal that she wrote to aid in teaching. So she taught nature journal classes once a week at the Solihull School for Girls. So she would collect specimens to paint, and she would paint them in her journal, and then she would go to class and take a fresh specimen as well for the students to paint. But this is my absolute favorite nature journal, and it's actually the reason I first wanted to start one myself. I actually discovered both of these books when I was around 10 years old. They were on my mother's bookshelf, and they both belonged to her mother. So they belonged to my grandmother, and I read them when I was around 10. And I just thought Edith Holden's book specifically was so beautiful, and yeah, to this day it's one of my favorite books. I've just left for a few moments to go over my voice recording, and while I was gone, the Merlin app said that it heard a pileated woodpecker. I've never seen one here, so that's amazing. I'll have to keep an eye out for it. My parents live right next door on about 60 acres of land, and my mom has told me before that one lives in their woods. I don't remember if I've seen that one, but I did see one when I lived in North Carolina a couple of years ago. There was a lake right down the road from us, and the peninsula was covered in oak trees, which I think the pileated woodpecker has an affinity for. And on that particular day, I was also collecting acorns from the various oaks. So that was a lovely day, and I actually just finished a painting of a pileated woodpecker with post oak and northern red oak leaves from the nature journal entry for that day. I feel like I've run out of relevant or interesting things to say, so I think I will leave now, and thank you for listening if you've made it this far. I've kind of just been rambling about random things, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one, and we can start our September nature journaling. Please don't forget that I have links in the description for my website if you are interested in signing up to the newsletter. I will also put my Instagram. I have an Instagram specifically for nature journaling, so I'll put that one in the description as well. If you have any video requests, please let me know. I could always use ideas for new content to make. I hope you enjoy the rest of this lovely day, and I will see you in September. Goodbye.